Hello, everyone. My name is Mark Miller. I'm the Chief Product Officer of Recognyte. Recognyte was spun off from Resolute as a technology arm of Resolute, which was established to help with mandates for banks and real estate investors to deal with thousands of real estate assets. Assets are in the form of distressed loans and properties owned by our clients, which need to be monetized. Recognyte, as a tech company, PropTech company, is geared to go beyond the Resolute client base, which is focused on non-performing loans and REO portfolios, and help the digital transformation of real estate investment and lending market, which is worth $140 trillion. The 140 trillion of investable real estate suffers from a significant problem, which is poor, inaccurate data, information, which in turn results in bad decisions. These decisions cause inefficient management and control, reducing the economic outcome. So Recognyte created a suite of products that rapidly and at scale remediate client real estate data, enriches it with external data, and provides analysis and insight to support decisions. High quality decisions leads to more efficient management and control of the real estate portfolio, which ultimately gives an improved return on investment. So the products that we created, there's 3 of them, and I'm going to go through all 3 of them in the 10 minutes, yes. Data Scout creates a complete 360-degree profile of the asset. Active Estate provides an alert-driven collaborative workflow management portfolio for granular, large sets of real estate portfolios. And similarly, Asset Dynamics provides a alert-driven platform to operationally asset manage large commercial real estate. So before I get into the actual demo, very complicated looking diagram, but it isn't. It's basically, we take client data, structured internal data, data tapes, extraction from systems, unstructured data, a bit like what Hannes just showed, from documents, but these are typically valuation reports, title deeds, things that are around the property that the client, the bank, and the real estate investors actually have. And we basically use natural language processing and data remediation to remediate the data, and we then enrich it with open data sources across 9 languages and countries, from open data sources, thousands of sources across those different countries, including comparables, points of interest, images, and various other things. That is then creating a structured, high-quality real estate data view of each asset, and we feed that into the Active Estate workflow management tool and the workflow management tool for commercial real estate. So I'm now going to pop over to a demo. Hopefully you can still see that, if that makes, if that's okay. I'm going to basically create a portfolio. So I'm going to start with Data Scout, and I'm going to just do create a portfolio. I'm going to upload, similarly to what Hannes did, some data. In this particular case, we're actually uploading both the data tape, which is a CSV file, plus a whole bunch of documents which are in the format of TIFF and PDF, which is typically what we're doing. We're doing this one here in Greek, and I'm going to start applying that, and then it starts uploading. And to make the demo faster, and this typically only takes about a few minutes to go through these different stages. And I'm going to go and talk you through each of these stages in a pre-baked one here. As I talk you through this, I'm going to talk about some use cases. So one of our clients, a Greek systemic bank, wanted to understand and manage a large portfolio of 30,000 distressed real estate assets, including loan collaterals that needed to be resolved. The first step was to understand what assets they had and the value of their portfolio. Using Data Scout, we took their data and we basically uploaded it into the system, and included, as you can see here, we mapped it. We get a real quick view of what the data actually is that they've given us and what the validity of it is. There's always an argument with the bank of how good their data actually is. This takes that argument and makes it a statistical fact. We then basically upload the documents in the same way as Hannes just showed. We extract a whole load of documents, and we pull out for each country the specific data that is relevant for the real estate market in terms of the real estate investors and banks in terms of what they need. You can see each one for each document. You can see in each individual document if you so wish. We then validate that. We take all of that and basically start putting it on the map. And most clients that we work with really appreciate the natural language processing that we do with machine learning that extracts that structured data and basically unifies it with the system data that they've also given us in the CSV file. Another use case for Data Scout is a banking client in Cyprus, which has used Data Scout primarily to understand newly acquired portfolio from documents. So they really just use Data Scout from the NLP perspective to maximize the information about the assets and then put it all, go through the geocoding, go through the enrichment, and basically view the portfolio. Just real quick on the geocoding, real estate and the value of the property is all about location, location, location. Validating the address and putting it accurately on the map in geocoding is the start of understanding the property and the local market. The impact of enriching properties with big data, which is what we're doing in open source intelligence, with non-traditional variables such as points of interest, comparables, socioeconomic information, can add up to 60% or to the predictive power of the valuation. Lastly, we go through image recognition. And in image recognition, we do some predictions on age, occupancy, and type and condition, which basically creates another data source that we see in terms of the information that we're gathering from various different sources that you can see here. Once we've pulled all that together, we then go and have a look at the actual portfolio. And in the portfolio, all of this analysis is brought together, and we then start doing predictions. And as you can see here, we've put it on a map. You can see some total information about all the portfolios. You can see the image recognition across the whole portfolio. And basically, I'm going to pick a particular property because, like a good demo, I need to pick a particular one. This one here. And we can see on a particular property, we've pulled out the images and a European real estate investor that we're working with operates in multiple countries and is currently using Data Scout with the primary purpose of understanding the transaction comparable properties. So as we go down here, you can see we've pulled in the points of interest in terms of the information of points of interest, but we've also pulled in comparables, which we can adjust in terms of seeing some of those comparables in terms of similarity and the distance. Let's click on one of them and you can see some information about that comparable. And this real estate investor that operates in many different countries actually wanted to just primarily work with us for the understanding the comparable information in the easy to use way that I'm showing you here. But they actually started getting into our AVM and liquidity scoring and prediction as well, and now really appreciate that as well. Obviously, with the point of interest, you're beginning to understand the surrounding areas. The comparables gives you some information around what the asset has got around it. We start then doing some predictions around audience. And monetization, which quite often is the outcome of non-performing loans and REO portfolios, is about making decisions on the housing stock that you have, and means that disposing or selling the property is essential, and understanding the target customer persona for each country enables us to make that marketing effort and reduce costs. Closely associated with AVM is liquidity score. So we calculated a liquidity score to basically better inform the client of how the time to sell, and then ultimately the AVM score. And we have many clients that operate this in terms of being able to understand very quickly what the value of their portfolio is, especially in the non-binding stage when they bought a portfolio from a bank before they commit to a minimum value binding contract. Very quickly, I will move on to Active Estate now, which unfortunately has logged me out. Very good. Active Estate essentially combines crowdsourcing of real estate data, workflow, and financial reporting into one platform. Active Estate is very versatile and specifically designed to be customized to detailed needs of the client. We have clients that use Active Estate to asset manage large portfolios of income-generating assets, as well as the NPL and REO portfolios that I mentioned earlier. The ability to create different workflows for different use cases and jurisdictions. Greece is not the same as Cyprus market, despite the sharing the same language. We work with management companies in the Netherlands that actively monitor and manage the portfolio of mixed-use real estate. This is alert-driven, as you can. If I go into one of these work streams, it's actually alert-driven. So many people that use this platform across the internal and externally teams can be notified as to what their action and what they need to attend to next, without trying to search it out. We do have several clients in the UK on the social housing sector to understand the housing stock and to make decisions on which properties to invest. The buy-side investor in Cyprus, as you can see here, uses this to manage the NPL and REO portfolio. As you can see here, there are many different custom fields, and this platform allows you to customize every aspect of your portfolio in terms of what you want to have. It also acts as a virtual data store. And ultimately, when you bring all this information in, you crowdsource the information on top of the data scout and rich data and complete profile, you can then do some reporting on this, which we will embed a business intelligence tool into Active Estate very shortly. That basically does that. Switching now to asset dynamics, and I appreciate I'm running out of time or over time. I quickly want to show you asset dynamics, which basically manages commercial real estate. And we actually have internal asset managers within Resolute, our parent company, that manage mostly shopping malls. And we're talking to clients that want to use this to manage, industrial and mixed retail residential portfolios. Ultimately, we do both property management and asset management in one platform. So we're able to show and build up, tenant information and the rent rolls and the income that you see from that on a tenant by tenant basis. We also look at the expenses that you have and reconcile that information using natural language processing and integrating with Plaid for accounting systems. That allows us to basically provide this. Ultimately, what we're driving towards is giving the client that owns this property instant access to see where their asset is performing and how it's performing in terms of reports, which traditionally were sent out on a monthly and quarterly basis. So in a nutshell, that's basically what I wanted to cover. Ultimately, in terms of what we actually want to do next, we actually want to establish and build out the go-to-market, invest in sales and marketing to increase sales and revenue, and accelerate product development for new targets, clients, and geographies. So we are looking for what I would call an investment somewhere between seed and Series A. A difficult place to be in, but that's kind of what we're seeking out right now. And that concludes my 10-minute pitch, which was slightly longer than 10 minutes.
Wow, cool, Mark. That's amazing. What do you see in the world right now happening the most on collecting data and start using data to make better performance within your real estate portfolio?
Which location, geography, do you mean?
Yeah, where do you see the most traction of clients?
I actually see it everywhere. My view is that the real estate world has a lot of data locked away. So when I talk about non-performing loans, a lot of that is in Southern Europe, because that's where the financial crisis and the issues came from.
Yeah,
that's where Resolute's client base is currently now. But we've also started talking to a lot of real estate investors from insurance companies like AXA, also social housing people that really just want to unlock the real estate data that's there and bring it all together, right? Doing what Harness does is a good start. And we obviously have built that NPL, that natural language processing, NPL and NLP. It's two acronyms in one space. But natural language processing brings element of that out. But we're talking about masses of assets, right? So some of the financial crisis in Southern Europe, unfortunately in Greece and places like that, and Italy, they still have tens of thousands of assets that are like this. But we're also talking to a company in the Netherlands which has quite a number of thousands of assets which are income generating. AXA has 120,000 residential properties that it manages as part of its asset class, pension fund investment. So the range is actually quite broad, and that's why we would like to conquer the world, Wouter.
That sounds great.